Everybody, welcome to Chapter 16, Talent Management. How do we get the talent that we need to do what we want to do as an organization? How does the OD fit into all of that? Learning objectives, coaching, mentoring. What is that? Management and leadership development. Big item. A lot of OD people doing management development work. What is career planning and what is career development? And how does it improve someone's competence and enhance traditional HR approaches? So let's have a look. Coaching and mentoring. Why do it? To assist in the execution of a transition or a change in an organization, or a change in one's individual life within an organization, to address a performance problem. Okay, so I've been called in many times to do coaching with performance problems, people having performance problems. Develop a new behavioral skill with leadership development. So we need you to be able to lead or influence in a way that you haven't been able to do in the past. Application stages, how do you go about it? First, you establish the principles of the relationship. Who's going to be involved? Who's going to be involved? What's the nature of our relationship? You conduct an assessment. What needs to be done? The coach and the client debriefs the results once the coaching is complete, and then you develop and implement an action plan based on the coaching. Sometimes that action plan can be developed right up front and worked through the coaching intervention, and then, of course, assess the results. Management and leadership development interventions. Of course, we want to change the knowledge and skills of people who need to be better at leadership. So first is perform a needs assessment. What is it that the organization and individual needs to have developed, and develop the objectives and design the training, deliver it and evaluate it. Boy, these things are so easily said right here, easily written out in 4 little bullets, but boy, I tell you, it's a very complex set of activities. Career planning and development. Career planning is concerned with choosing the jobs, the occupations, and the organizations at each stage in a career. And you'll see here in just a minute how career stages roll out. But career development involves helping employees attain their objectives in their career. So let's look at that a little bit more deeply here. Career planning mechanism. So if you're going to do career planning work, and I've done lots of it over the last couple of decades, I guess, even more. So what contributes to career planning? And it says here, communication regarding career opportunities within the organization. So this means the client is letting employees know, hey, if you're working here, here are the opportunities that you have. If you come to work at Google or iPhone or Chevy or Ford or any place, even the military. So these are the opportunities you have. And then we'll have some assessment workshops that'll help you determine what are your interests, what are your abilities, what job situation might work best for you. We provide career counseling by managers or human resource department folks that understand career development, career planning. Self-development materials are made available, helping you decide what it is that you want to do with your life and your job. And assessment programs that test vocational interests and aptitude. So what kind of work are you interested in? Would you rather be an artist or would you rather be an engineer? And so on. Here are the career stages. This is one approach to career, theoretical career stages. There are a few more, but you can see here that in the earlier ages in one's life, 21, 26, what's out there and what are my interests and so on, and throughout life. So advancement, 24 to 40 or 26 to 40. How do I become more effective and more efficient? And maintenance is ages 40 to 60, and withdrawal, age 60 and above. I think this is interesting. I don't relate to it personally because I'm not where it says I should be on there. You know, it says I should probably be in withdrawal or something, and I'm not. I'm probably back in maintenance or even advancement because there's more and more things that I'm doing. Also, many these days careers, someone said once, how many different careers should a new college graduate expect? And I think the number's something like 7 or 8. Movements from one career field to another. It's not unusual given the rate of change in today's business world out there. So when organizations look at career and HR planning, you can see on the left-hand side, here's somebody's personal career planning. Starts off with personal objectives and life plans, what I want to be when I grow up, what I want to do, how do I want to do it. Choose the occupation and the organizational choice. Some people, as with me, and there's many of you out there, chose military for some number of years. I was 10 years. I had made my decision I wanted to fly airplanes out of college when I was 22, 23, joined the Air Force and flew airplanes for 10 years. And we actually, right at that third box down, job assignment choice, it was at the end of 10 years. And for those of you that don't know, usually about the end of 10 years, the Air Force takes pilots out of their regular flying jobs. You know, they were flying as lieutenants and captains and maybe majors, and they're going to put them into more administrative leadership jobs. So we used to call it go fly a desk. I didn't want to fly a desk, so I left it at 10 years and got into the airline business and flew for the airlines until a point came where I decided I wanted to even go beyond that. Flying airplanes became kind of tiring, so I went back to school. So if you look at that job assignment choice, what do you want to do? Performance and development planning and review. That job assignment choice, of course, is going on in the organization. And you stay doing this performance and planning and all that, and at some point you retire. This is a very old model because that kind of implies that you stay in one field or with one organization throughout the course of a career. And that almost doesn't happen anymore, very seldom. But how does it link with human resources in an organization? The idea in those middle arrows that go down the center of the page is that these link to one another. So your personal objectives and what you want to do with your life is linked to what the business is trying to do. And then your occupational and organizational choice is linked to the ways that they can attract you and recruit you and obtain you and pay you and so on. Your job assignment choice hopefully is matched with the methods for matching individuals with jobs. We hope that the HR people have a method for finding somebody who wants to, let's say, write code for apps, to write code for apps, and not having some kind of a job that, well, this job I like, half of it, but the other half is terrible. Then towards the bottom on the right hand side, ways to help people perform and develop. Well, yeah, they've got to develop that as an HR department. They've got to develop ways to help people so that the performance and development planning and process that's on the left-hand side is in alignment with what the organization is trying to do. And then finally, that retirement that the organization has to prepare ways to find for satisfying retirement. The military does a pretty good job of that on the right-hand side, but typically, military career, typically 20 years. But nowadays, people are working well beyond 20 years. They get out, and like some of you get out, and they start all over in a new career field. What kind of interventions does an OD person bring to the table for career development? And you can see them right here. Role and structure interventions, and that means help people decide what is it that they want to do, what role do they want to be. Realistic job preview is a approach, it's a process where the applicant has a very good opportunity to look at what is this job realistically, what is it, what does it entail, what will my life like be doing this, what do I bring to the table in terms of getting this particular job done satisfactorily and so on. Job rotation means if I fall back on my career, maybe that I mentioned just a minute ago, that the Air Force said, well, you've been flying, we're going to rotate you out of flying and put you into some kind of administrative job. Or sometimes people would work in one department and they rotate into another department in an organizational setting, and both of them offering challenging assignments. You could be in a consultative role in an organization, or as an OD person, you can go in and consult and help people understand career development. You could certainly help them understand what retirement is and phased retirement. So over a period of time, you're phased out, which certainly happens to the older folks who retire. Other kinds of career development interventions, individual employee development. So you can help set up an assessment center. This is something that's very popular in industrial organizational psychology. It's a number of ways to assess an individual's competence in a variety of different settings: problem solving, working with groups, developing and delivering presentations, and so on. And it's designed to do just that. It's a series of activities, usually over a day or two, to help an organization and an individual figure out, this is what I'm good at, and this is what I'm not too good at. Coaching and mentoring, that would be you being the coach or a mentor if it's appropriate, and help set up coaching and mentoring programs within an organization. You could also, there's developmental training, so you can also work in development, and this is what we were talking about earlier with leadership development and helping people develop competence that they need. Performance management we talked about last time, chapter 15, I believe it was. And helping with work-life balance interventions, probably getting to be more and more popular as we work harder and harder and stress more and more. And how do we balance life and deal with stress? So that is another intervention related to career development. And that's it for talent management. Hope you enjoyed chapter 16, and I'll see you in chapter 17.